tonight in Philadelphia. Tanner Roark looks to lead the Nats to a 13th win in their last 14 tries, while A.J. Burnett starts for the 5th time against Washington this season. Welcome to Philadelphia, a visit the Nats used to dread. It's not that way anymore, although in 6 games this year. Each team has won 3. Great to see a bunch of our fans up here at Citizens Bank Park for the opener of a long road trip in 3 games right here against our old friends, the Phils. Bob and FP, Braves are off tonight, so another opportunity for the Nats to simply take care of their business the way they've been doing for the last 2 weeks.
Well, if they win tonight, they'll have an 8.5 game lead, and that was their biggest lead in 2012.
Those are great numbers. The Nats have won 12 out of 13. And yesterday, things look pretty innocent. You're down 5-0, then 6-2. Ian Desmond made it 6-3, and then came the barrage.
Well, then the floodgates open. Bryce Harper going the other way with a double. Then Asdrubal Cabrera going up the middle. Brandon Crawford with a great stop, but that would put runners at the corners with 1 out. And then a wild pitch from Jeremy Affeldt scores Bryce Harper. The place just went absolutely nuts. 37,000 fans yesterday, as loud as I've heard them in Nats Park, and the rally continued and everybody contributed. Scott Hairston off the bench with a clutch double. That scored Lobaton. And look at the crowd in the background. How great were they yesterday? And Jason Wirth, as good as it gets with runners in scoring position. You see the fist pump, the emotion. Everybody in the Nats dugout feeling good. Rally pigeons, 12 out of 13. Whee! Isn't this fun?
6 runs on 8 hits in that inning. Look at the run differential, innings 1 through 5, during this great 2-week run. Just a +8, but from the 6th inning on, the Nats are totally dominating. The average goes up. Runners in scoring position especially. And now Jason Wirth is one of the top guys with runners in scoring position in the league this year. Tanner Roark, A.J. Burnett. There's not much mystery here between these 2 clubs and between the Nats hitters and this right-handed pitcher.
It's a great point. You get to this part of the season, both clubs know each other well. It's just a matter of executing your game plans. And right now, if you look at Tanner Roark, he's doing a much better job of executing game plans than A.J. Burnett. He's been all over the place, throwing fastballs all over the place. Curveball's his best pitch. But the Nats have a chance to increase that lead tonight, 8.5.
They've hit 4 home runs against A.J. Burnett this year. 4 of the 15 he has given up. The Nats have 112 now. They're in the top 4 in the league in the long ball. More importantly, they're in the top 3 in the league in runs scored, and they just keep on coming. Brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Off he goes into the wild blue yonder, and here are the Nats at the home of the Phillies. Washington on the year, 32-29 on the road. They've been so dominant at home, we've almost forgotten that they're a better than 500 ball club on the road in their most recent road series. A sweep up the road in New York a couple of weeks ago. So plenty of support in a hostile ballpark, at least one that used to be. Visit TrainSearch.com. Find your local Train Comfort Specialist dealer. It's hard to stop a train. Really hard. So the humidity way down. Delightful night in Philadelphia. Barely a breeze. And 84 degrees as the Phils take the field. Jason Worth against his old ball club. 26 RBIs since the start of last year. The most by any player against a former ball club. A.J. Burnett having a nightmare. He's lost 5 in a row. 0-6 going back a start or two before the streak got started. And the Nationals 24-12 since the All-Star break. The best in the league. The superlatives keep on coming. The one thing they'd like to do a little better, first games of series. They're 20-22, but they always come roaring back. Here comes the lineup. The Nats are 6th in the league in hitting, 3rd in homers, 4th in homers and 3rd in runs. And Denard Span really making things happen. 151 hits, 34 doubles, the runs, everything going right for the leadoff guy. Notice Danny Espinosa in the lineup. But FP, the Nats got good news. Nothing serious with Asdrubal Cabrera. We could see him tomorrow.
Yeah, could see him tomorrow. Just a little side ache, so we're hoping to see him back in there. Meanwhile, Danny Espinosa coming off a nice game, 2 for 2 with a homer off the bench. You see the repertoire for A.J. Burnett. Fastball 92, curveball 82, changeup 87 miles an hour. 3 straight starts where he's given up 4 or more earned runs. So 28th start of the year for Burnett, 6-14 record, ERA approaching 5. And the league is hitting .257 off the Phillies right-hander. Set the defense for the Phils tonight in Game 1, 3-game set behind Burnett, Brown, Revere, Bird. Your outfield, Rollins, Ashley left side, Utley, Howard right side, and Carlos Ruiz behind the dish.
He's been banged up a little bit this year. Phillies are struggling. 58-72. They had a nice weekend. Took 2 out of 3 from a central contender, St. Louis. And as I mentioned, not like the Nats have dominated them here. 3-3. The ball clubs are here. Going back to the birth of the Nationals in 05. We still owe these guys a whole bunch. It's 101-77 for the Phils. Long way to come back against Ryan Sandberg's team. 16-year veteran Jim Reynolds has the plate. Manny Gonzalez, 3rd year. Gary Cederstrom, the crew chief, at 2nd, 21st year. And Chris Siegel at 3rd base. Jim Reynolds says, play ball, here we go. First pitch, right in there. We're underway at 7:08. Denard Span, career .333 against A.J. Burnett. They've seen each other in both leagues. And this one to left, just a soft fly ball. Dominic Brown.
Let's look at the numbers before the game today. Denard Span, 4th most at-bats in the National League with 502 now after that one. Anthony Rendon, 3rd most at-bats in the National League with 506. Denard Span has played in 120 of the Nats' 129 games. Anthony Rendon, 125 games played. They're grinding.
Iron men by today's standards,
yes,
for sure. And of course, then there's Ian Desmond, hardly ever takes an inning off. Rendon 5 for 12 career against Burnett with a couple of home runs. Command a problem for AJ. Now, Rendon, not a guy who walks a lot, but Burnett has walked 76 hitters this year, most in the National League. He's given up the 2nd most runs, 96. To Hopper, right to Jimmy Rollins. Couple of quick outs. Next up, the former Philly, Jason Worth. Not a lot of folks here tonight, but some of them will make themselves known when he's announced. Not nearly the boo fest it used to be. I've never, and this is a Monday night, and they're out of the race, but just have never come into this ballpark and seen so much empty space. It's unbelievable. Phillies averaging 30,000 a game, 9th in the league, but a lot of that must be tickets sold and maybe not scanned.
I asked you before we went on the air today, how many times as a Nats broadcaster have you come into Philadelphia where the Nats were in first place and the Phillies were in last? Usually the other way around when you started, right?
Yeah, those first 4 or 5 years were really rough coming up here. Worth. And of course Rollins, Utley, Howard, Ibanez. It was just a murderer's row of hitters in a cozy ballpark. And we had guys who tried to pitch inside here. They tried. And that ball is called a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Jason Worth, who's got some of the most odd splits against Burnett you'll ever see. 2 for 24. Both home runs. 3 walks. Something bugging him. On a count of 1-2. And Worth straight back to the screen.
Talking to Jason before the game that he said the only time his shoulder hurts now is when he really swings at a bad pitch, chases something out of the zone. Doesn't hurt him when he's throwing in right field. And when he's swinging at strikes, everything feeling much better.
Mets are off tonight. Braves are off tonight. As we mentioned earlier, Atlanta not playing. Big hook. So right now the Nats representing the top of the East, and A.J. Burnett has a really good top of the first. .58-72 overall. They are 9th in the league in runs, 11th in homers, 11th in batting average. Ryan Howard, well, he's only hitting .222, but he has 80 RBIs. That's 4th most in the league. And against left-handed batters, I mean, it's not many guys who are up at that RBI total. Right now, get Jim Reynolds, the home plate umpire, talking to Matt Williams about something as Tanner Roark completes his tosses. But there's the Philly lineup. Here's a number for you. We hope we're not jinxing it, but you kind of have to bring it up. Ryan Howard is 0 for his last 29 against the Washington Nationals.
Now Gary Cedarstrom coming to talk to Jim Reynolds after Matt Williams talked to Jim Reynolds. Now Gary Cedarstrom going to walk over and talk to Matt Williams. Here comes Matt to the top step. What do you got, Carp?
I don't know. Ben Revere chatting with Wilson Ramos, home plate umpire, looking over to the Phillies dugout and saying something. Jim Reynolds just said something to Jimmy Rollins, but kind of hard for us to pick it up.
Well, he's saying it to Ryan Sandberg, who's right behind Jimmy Rollins.
Yeah. Jimmy was tuned in. So here's Tanner Roark, 26 start. And against the Phillies lifetime, 2-1 with a high ERA. He's had one good outing against them this year and one that did not go so well. And here's Ben Revere, who's hit .368 over his last 51 games. And here we are in the last week of August, and a batter at .314. In fact, two of them are battling for a batting title, Justin Morneau and Ben Revere. And then nobody else in the league higher than .305.
Denard Span's in that mix too, don't forget. Yeah. .301 average.
So Jeep takes us inside the numbers at the top of the league, and Denard Span, as FP noted, not far removed from that list. There's a check swing by Revere, who has 147 hits, fourth in the league, right behind Murphy, Pence, and Span. It could be a sneak attack by somebody for a batting championship this year.
Right. Who gets out in September wins.
Well guided and foul by Ben Revere.
But how about Ben Revere yesterday? He had his first walk in 171 plate appearances. He has 11 walks all season long. And like you said, his .314 tied for the league.
And out to second base for Danny Espinosa. Yeah, he's one of those guys batting .314. And if you want to figure out his on base percentage, just add like 15 or 20 points.
That's at the defense for the Phillies. Or for the Nats behind Tanner Roark. Harper, Span.
You're used to being home, aren't you?
Your Phillies outfield. Desmond Rendon, your left side of your Phillies defense. And Espinosa LaRoche. The right side. Wilson Ramos behind the plate. Yeah, I think everybody is. The funny thing yesterday, all the talk about the rally pigeon after the game, and you know, there's been a lot of rally things over the last couple of years, but this is the first one where the ball players have come up with it. Jason Worth was talking to me before the game and just had a great story about how the whole thing went down. They were in the middle of that rally, and I guess the pigeon landed behind second base. The crowd cheered, and I was looking around for why the crowd was cheering yesterday at that moment. I guess the pigeon landed, and the pitch was thrown to Danny Espinosa, and he went deep. The whole dugout saw it land, and all at once said, "Rally pigeon." And the pitch was thrown, and Espinosa went deep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's how that got started yesterday, with the Nats dugout watching the pigeon land behind second base. And on Twitter today, Nats fans have officially named him Homer, the rally pigeon.
Nice. Not a homing pigeon, a homer pigeon. I like it. 0-2, and that fastball sails upstairs. And got to salute the alertness of our scoreboard crew at the ballpark yesterday. They spotted the pigeon and put him up on the video board several times, and the crowd really reacted. Whatever it takes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Jimmy Rollins 3 for 7 career against Tanner Roark, and make it 4 out of 8 as he just strokes it out to left center, and with Span getting to it quickly, holding him to a single. Denard and Bryce were communicating with each other, trying to figure out who might have the better angle for a throw to second, and I thought Rollins was going to keep on going.
I did too, but Span got there quick, reverse pivot, throw right on the money. Jimmy Rollins with a big turnaround first base, had to put on the brakes, just short of halfway, but he was thinking double out of the box. And Denard Span was thinking, not on my watch. Look at the straight line to the baseball, gets it, plants, throws. Watch the turn by Rollins. Right there, he decides to stop. Nice play by Span, nice swing by Jimmy Rollins.
That'll bring in Chase Utley. Jimmy Rollins still running well. He has stolen 26 out of 32. So that's 376 stolen bases. He's also hit 166 home runs. Actually, he's over 200. Looking at the 150 mark plus his 16 this year. Not many players in the history of baseball have 2,000 hits, 350 steals, and over 150 homers for one team. Craig Biggio, Barry Larkin, Paul Molitor, Jimmy Rollins. 1 ball, 1 strike on a pitch outside from Roark, who's retired Utley 4 out of 5 times they have faced each other. 1 walk. Look at the Jimmy Rollins hit total right now. It's over 2,300 hits. You know, there have been a few players in past years who felt if they got to 2,500 they had a shot at Cooperstown. 3,000 pretty much a guarantee, but 35 years of age and a long way to go, but he's still playing like a younger guy. Roark misses up and in.
Yeah, last start for Tanner got the no decision against Arizona. The Nats 3-2 win. He went 7 shutout innings, gave up just 5 singles and a 99 pitch effort.
Yeah, I don't know if it's something about trying to get to that unlucky number of 13 in wins, but Roark and Pfister both on the verge of it last week, and it slipped away from both of them when the bullpen gave up some runs later in the game after they left. Gio tomorrow, Pfister on Wednesday here. Rollins running. Pitch low. Ramos can't make the exchange. And for Jimmy Rollins, number 27.
Well, there's some things you have to be careful about today if you're the Nats. The letdown from yesterday's incredible win. The crowd at Nats Park just electric. The whole homestand, especially yesterday. And then you come to Philadelphia. It's a small crowd after such an amazing come-from-behind win. And also, you're playing a Phillies team that's playing pretty good. They've won back-to-back series for the first time since April.
By the way, Chase Utley, 14 for his last 30 with runners in scoring position. And he hits one to right. It'll back up Worth. I mean, that ball sounded like a tap off the bat here, and it pins him up against the scoreboard. Over to third, Rollins. So the cozy ballpark able to hold a ball that was really only hit about 345 feet.
Yeah, Utley in a little bit of a slump, 120 over his last 6 games, and I thought he got him. I thought it was 2-0 Phils. The way this ballpark plays, usually anything in the air to right goes out of here. Jason Worth knows that territory well, finds the fence, and Rollins advances to third on the flyout.
Here's Ryan Howard with 2 outs. One career hit against Roark. It's a home run. He's 1 for 5 with 4 RBIs. Still one of the most dangerous RBI guys in baseball. .1,043 batted in his 10th big league season. What a changeup. You think you got a fastball count? Not these days.
Well, like Wilson Ramos kind of shook his glove, like, give me that changeup down. See him give it a good target. And Tanner Roark executed it perfectly.
And he goes up and in with the 92 fastball. Howard stopped his hands.
Go the changeup right here. Right-hander on deck. Marlon Byrd, 151 strikeouts. That's second most in the National League. Let's see if he goes after Howard in 3-1 count.
Beauty of a changeup again. 3-2.
Another changeup, 3-1, and now Ryan Howard's thinking, well, is he going to throw it 3-2? He did.
He certainly did. Only 3 other games in the league tonight, including one interleague game for the Marlins. No picnic out in Anaheim tonight. So we got Nashville's here and the Fish playing, and that's it for the division. And a 3-2 again to Howard. And he goes 92 upstairs again.
See, that's the I'm not sure if fastball's coming swing. 92 up. You see how late he was over the Nats dugout down the left field line. And that's what Tanner Roark does to hitters. He creates doubt. You're never really sure of what's coming. Did they go back to the changeup? No, he shook to a fastball. I better be quiet. I hear it.
Yeah, Howard a little bit late. 91 that time.
I might have to go with our golfer's announcer voice here. Pretty good battle going on. Ninth pitch coming.
Jimmy Rollins at third base, 2 outs.
I'm thinking changeup if I'm Howard here. And he goes fastball late. You know, as a hitter, if you have any other thing in the back of your head, say you're 90% fastball, 10% changeup, it'll cause you to be late on a fastball.
Fastball again. Skied left side. Rendon to have a look. No chance.
So he's seen 2 pitches, right? Fastball, changeup. You throw him a slider or a curve right here. He hasn't seen it. You might have him. A lot of pitches up and out over the plate.
Yeah, and since that first one, way inside, just attacking the zone all over the place is Roark. 3-2. And one of Ryan Howard's best ABs for a walk this year. 55th time he's been passed. 11 pitch AB, 2 on, 2 out. That'll bring in Marlon Byrd, who's been dangerous all year. In fact, a lot of folks surprised he's still here, as dangerous as he's been. All kind of rumors about a contender or contenders that would want to bat like that. He moved from the Mets to the Pirates at the deadline last year. From the Cubs to the Red Sox 2 years ago. That was earlier in the season. And a breaking ball outside. And we found out earlier this year that Bird's got power to right center. Hit a first inning home run out there off Steven Strasburg.
The Nats have had their success with Marlon Byrd on fastballs in. 2 seamers running in off the plate.
Nissan will track a good breaking ball.
Little slider right here from Tanner. Sitting one on a fastball, got the slider at 85. Tanner looks a little strong to me right now. Fastball has been elevated. Off speed not really doing what he's used to it doing. A changeup's been good though.
But because it's been such a long inning, he's pretty much had to show his entire repertoire here in the bottom of the first. 2-1 to Marlon Byrd, who's 0 for 4 career against Roark. Steady diet of breaking stuff here.
It seemed to me about 2 strong. Tanner just trying to figure it out right now. Overthrew that slider at 84. He knew Byrd was sitting on a fastball, but watch what it does. That just sitting up there. I'm so used to that Roark slider going down and away hard from righties. That one spun.
He's got a power zone that skews up and away. Thus some of those home runs to right center. He steps out. Roark steps off momentarily. 31st pitch, first inning coming.
Got on top of that one. Good pitch.
23 home runs, 5th in the league. 75 RBIs, 7th in the National League. And Roark with a big breaking ball strikes him out. And now Bird is 0 for 5 career against him, and every one of them a strikeout. Took a while. Great pitch to finish off the first. Couple. And we're going 4, 5, 6, top of the second. And what they've done since the beginning of the 2012 season against the Phillies, brought to you by Honda. Adam LaRoche damaged despite not a high batting average. Ian Desmond, a little bit of both. And Bryce Harper's done damage to the Phils. Not to mention a steal of home. Cole Hamels, speaking of that, tomorrow night against Gio. Shift is on for LaRoche. They leave their third baseman Cody Ashe on the left side. Strike call, inside edge. Adam 12 for 32 career against A.J. Burnett. There's the shift. 2 homers, 6 RBIs. Target in again. Better get it in there. That Burnett misses well off the plate. Great ID of the breaking ball at the last second. That was a strike for a while.
That's the hard curveball from Burnett. He's got a slower one that's in the 70s. He'll have a little more loop to it, but a slider-like curveball. Good take.
Got the count in his favor. That one fades outside. So there are the numbers. Hit by a pitch, a walk, plenty of damage. And LaRoche got jammed on that. Chase Utley charging. He'll square up from the outfield grass, and 4 in a row for Burnett to start off the game. If you're a season plan holder, renew right now and reserve postseason tickets. Season plan holders who upgrade their plans for 2015 before September 5 also the opportunity to receive upgraded seats for the postseason this year. For all renewal and postseason ticket details, visit nationals.com/renew. Well, A.J. Burnett has had a little bit of both against the Nats this year. 4 starts previously. First one here. And he faces Ian Desmond, who's 2 for 15 career against him. 6 innings, 1 run. At Washington, June 4th, 6 innings, 8 runs. Back here, early July, 7 2/3, 2 runs. At Washington, inning and 2/3, ejected, gave up 5 runs, 1 earned, after he thought he was being squeezed by Chris Guccione. So he's been good, bad against the Nats. Tonight's solid start.
Well, he's walked 4 batters in 3 of his last 6 starts, and his command with the fastball isn't what he's used to it being. You see the 3-0 count to Ian Desmond right now. Now the fastball's near. I think if you wait him out, you get a good count to hit him. Talked about games played. This is number 127 for Ian Desmond. That leads the ball club.
93 right in there, and if he hits one here like he hit one yesterday, there's no telling how far it'll go.
Well, that got the party started. It was 5-0 at that point. Ian went deep, made it 5-1, and that woke up everybody at Nats Park, got the crowd into it. And for a 5-1 homer, that was as loud as I've heard the ballpark as well. That's when they stood up and said, all right, they're going to do this thing.
(3-2) with 1 out. Desmond's going to be called out on a fastball high in the zone. 5 in a row for Burnett. Second strikeout.
I'll tell you what, that might be history right there. That was a 6-pitch at bat for Ian Desmond where he did not swing. Ian, known for coming up and letting her rip, got to a 3-1 count, took a fastball, got to a 3-2 count, took another fastball that he thought was up and in, and Jim Reynolds called it a strike. How many times have you seen that?
Never. I'm sure it's happened, but I don't remember. There's Bryce coming off a majestic home run yesterday that almost took down the right field pole.
I had the camera crew and everybody zooming in on the pole. We were looking for dents and they couldn't find one. We were going to show it to you if there was one, but I guess I don't know what they make the pole out of, but it's pretty hard.
Yeah. Probably Lehigh Valley iron.
Yeah. Pigs
from Pennsylvania.
I'm going to say it's the same people that make the uprights in the NFL. Just going around there. What do? I make foul poles and goal posts. All right.
Heartbreaking ball on 0-2 to Bryce Harper.
That might be a good line. What do? I make foul poles. Come on. Yeah, that's what I do. I make foul poles. I mean, you could call them fair poles if you want to be positive about it, but yeah, I make foul poles. That's what I do.
One of the great mysteries of baseball, why it's called a foul pole. Entire thing's in fair territory.
There's a lot of failure in baseball, Bob.
Yeah.
3 out of 10 times, you fail 7 out of 10 times, you're in the Hall of Fame. You're successful in 3 out of 10 heart surgeries. You're not working for very long.
People watching in bars without audio wondering, what are they talking about? What's up with the foul pole? That's a run back fastball that'll strike out Harper. So A.J. Burnett on his game at the bank tonight. 6 in a row. Nobody hitting one anywhere near a pole. back in 05, winning 12 out of their last 13, the best record in the National League now by, well, several games over the Dodgers, because look at the loss side. Nats 4 up on the Dodgers there. All the other teams, American League, so the best record in the National League right now belongs to the Nats.
And that's the only one that Matt Williams cares about. Talking the day before the game, said, hey, this is a tough road trip we got. You know, Phillies are playing good. You head to Seattle, tough ballpark to hit in. Head to LA, tough ballpark to hit in. We talked about the road trip where they played in Denver and then went to Cincinnati. That was a good one to hit in. This one, not so much once you get out of the bank.
Yeah. You remember how low scoring the games were when we got to Cincinnati. You can't predict what's going to happen in this game. So this will be an interesting 10 days. One day off Thursday. That'll be welcome, because the Phillies give the Nats a night game here Wednesday. Then they pushed it back a half hour to honor some little leaguers. And the Nats are going to get into Seattle who knows when on Thursday morning. Fortunately, Thursday a day off. Desmond takes care of the fly ball off the bat of Dominic Brown. Tanner Roark needs some quick outs. Contemporary Christian musician Lincoln Brewster, free post-game concert at the ballpark on Saturday, September 6th. Nats Phillies 4:05. It features testimonies from at least 4 of the Nats: Craig Stammen, Ian Desmond, Adam LaRoche, and Denard Span, scheduled to be on stage. Special group pricing available. Nationals.com/faith. Check it out. Lincoln Brewster, one of the best in that genre. There's Carlos Ruiz. Strike one. And the breaking ball outside. Ruiz 1 for 3 career against Roark, and Carlos a modest 3-game hitting streak with 4 base hits. Fastball. Desmond got behind it. 2 down. Then we'll see if Tanner Roark, in his quest for a quick inning, can get the number 8 hitter and make Burnett lead off the 3rd.
Well, he muscled through the first, Carper. That's a good sign. Now he's getting some ground balls. You know, early in the game, sometimes you're a little amped up, even you know, if it's not the greatest atmosphere in the world. It's your day. It's your start. You're going for win number 13. And it takes you time to settle into the game, get your mechanics, and now you see the fastballs down. Big difference.
Last time the Nats played the Phillies here, Cody Ashe was batting 6th. He's in the number 8 spot, hitting .246. '24-year-old third baseman.
Good changeup. I like when Tanner does that to left. He throws the changeup in. So right here, Cody Ashe's thinking that's a fastball. No. That's all they do is throw me fastballs in. What the heck?
And a 1-2 right at Espinosa. That was a rocket. Quick inning, just what Tanner needed. He'll bat after Ramos and Espinosa. No score, top of the 3rd coming up.
Bob and FP mentioned a bit ago, Asdrubal Cabrera out of the lineup today after injuring his side in yesterday's game against the Giants. The Nationals feel pretty confident that this isn't going to be any type of severe injury with Cabrera. They don't think it's an oblique, which can really be tricky. That can knock guys out for multiple weeks. But Cabrera did some light hitting today in the cage, went through a normal pregame routine, and came out of it feeling fine. So the Nationals believe that this could be something where Cabrera could be back in the lineup tomorrow. The Phillies are throwing left-hander Cole Hamels tomorrow. And Danny Espinosa is a much better right-handed hitter than left-handed hitter. So if Matt Williams wanted to, he could go with Espinosa again tomorrow for a second straight day. Give Cabrera another day of rest. The good news here, though, especially given how well Cabrera has been playing, is that the Nationals do not think this is anything severe with their second baseman.
Yeah, another part of the good news, there is no drop-off defensively if Danny Espinosa is playing second base. And against a left-handed pitcher, we'll see tomorrow. Thanks, Dan, with our AFCEA sideline report. AFCEA, the Association for Global Security Professionals.
Well, a couple things. Tomorrow's Scott Hairston Day. We know that already. And number two, you know times are tough in Philadelphia when Masson Dan does his sideline report and he doesn't get booed.
They didn't even boo Bryce Harper tonight. And a fastball in there from Burnett. Wilson Ramos 2 for 9 career with a home run against AJ.
Scott Hairston, big knock off the bench yesterday. Fired me up. I think I errantly said Ian Desmond's homer made it 5-1. It made it 6-3 yesterday, but in all the melee, I got confused.
Yeah, I look back in that 6th inning today.
It was hard to keep track.
In my book, okay, dots for RBIs. Let's see now who drove in who drove in that guy. Tough to piece back together a 6-run, 8-hit inning. 1-2 to Ramos. Breaking ball, and he thought he could get it. And AJ Burnett has struck out 3 in a row. 4 on the night. Another look back at Asdrubal's swing yesterday that caused him a problem.
Yes, from the right side, just a ground ball to short. You see him wincing in pain going down the line. I thought it was an oblique. It's good to hear Dan say that it's not as bad as they originally thought. And hopefully he'll be in there soon because he has been good. Look at that.
With the Nats since July 31st, 20 games, 19 hits, 12 walks. He has more walks than strikeouts, 12 over 10. The defense has been flawless. He has worked beautifully with Ian Desmond up the middle. So here's Danny Espinosa, 183 left-handed, 219 overall. 3 career hits against AJ Burnett, 2-0.
I see him come off the bench yesterday and get a couple of knocks. Base hit right-handed, home run left-handed. Smiles all over. I told you I brought him up here.
I think he followed the buses last night.
Actually, that's a dove.
It's a piece. We could use a little bit of that between the Nats and the Phils. 2-1. Espinosa trying to chop at a breaking ball to lay down a bunt. It's been a long time since Danny's had a bunt hit. And now Cody Ashe at third can back up, and so can Ryan Howard at first.
I know what I'm getting the truck tomorrow. A book that illustrates bird types. Because they told me get me a pigeon, and they got me a dove, and they thought that was a pigeon. Nice try, guys. All right.
Fastball. 5 strikeouts for Burnett. And he'll face Tanner Roark.
Fastball's jumping on AJ Burnett's hand tonight. 93 right there with a little life to it at the end. So by all accounts, the fastball command has been off for Burnett, but he has been locked in here. 5 out of the last 6 hitters he's faced, he's K'd.
Tanner Roark, 5 hits this year. on the corner, 1-1. Nine pitches first inning. Only 16 in the second when he struck out a couple. And he's trying to strike out the side here. Tanner Roark does what no man tonight could do, and he's aboard with 2 down.
There goes the no-hitter, Tanner. Attaboy, right up the middle. Watch this swing. Little toe tap, fastball right down the middle. Roark. Let's talk about what a good athlete he is. There you go. Base hit up the middle. First knock of the night for the Nats by Tanner Roark. I guess steal second.
Denard Span. Fly ball to left field first time. And Burnett will drop in that breaking ball coming from outside. Another hook. Feeling so good about it. Not at all shy about throwing it to hitters on the other side of the plate.
Well, stuff's sharp. I mean, fastball sharp, curveball sharp. Good A.J. Burnett so far for the Phillies tonight.
Denard came in hitting .306 against right-handers.
Do you see Carlos Ruiz peeking up as he was giving signs right there, looking at Denard Span? You know why he's doing that? He's looking for hitters peeking back for the signs. Occasionally guys will kind of glance back even though they're looking out toward the pitcher to see if they can see signs. Watch him looking at Denard. He did it twice, looking up as he was giving signs, looking up again, seeing if he's peeking. A for sign, B for location. He does that to everybody. He just that's his job. He's looking to see if the hitter's looking at his signs. Look at that. Smart.
Span gets another breaking ball that hit him in the foot before rolling out to Howard.
And where guys will really do it is during day games when they hit with Oakleys, because you can't see their eyeballs. So as you get in the batter's box, it's why a lot of guys wear sunglasses during the game, day games. They kind of look straight down and you can feel the catcher, and you know no cameras can pick that up because you have sunglasses on. It's a way to see where the catcher's setting up. It's hard to peek to actually see fingers, but you can sense where the catcher's setting up if you glance straight down at the plate.
Waiting for Denard to get through his routine of swinging that bat, twirling it. And the 0-2, and Span will hit it the other way. Top of the third inning, Nationals have their first base hit thanks to Tanner Roark.
I always said if you're worried about somebody doing that, then you're doing that. That's kind of the philosophy throughout baseball. If you think I'm relaying signs from second base, then you're doing it, or you wouldn't be thinking it.
Yeah.
Good battle going on between these two. Boy, right center field is definitely open for business for Denard. Huge gap toward the bullpen.
And I was thinking that as good an athlete as Roark is, you could drive home a pitcher out there. It's the biggest part of this park. 398 deep right center, 409 deep left center. Right now, that's the deepest part that's open. Ben Revere all the way over right in front of that 409 sign. And Span extending to stay alive.
94. Pitch number 8 coming, 5 foul balls.
Nationals 8-5 overall against the Phillies in the season series. And finally, nasty enough, Denard could not foul it off. A.J. Burnett nearly perfect through 3. No score.
Bottom of the 3rd inning. Saturdays into Sundays are Harris Teeter Family Fun Pack days at Nats Park. With the purchase of every Family Fun Pack ticket, you will receive a hot dog, curb, a bag of chips, and a drink starting at $19. Some restrictions apply. Get your tickets at nationals.com/family. Good deal.
Harris Teeter, great place. So the Braves, as mentioned, not playing tonight. Marlins at Angels later. Mets off. And the Phillies 17.5 games behind the Washington Nationals.
They're dangerous on certain days, Carvey. You know, they're an older ball club, but every once in a while, you know, you get Jimmy Rollins locked in. Chase Utley will have a good game. Ryan Howard will look like the old Ryan Howard. And then perfect example is A.J. Burnett tonight. So on a given day, this ball club can be very dangerous. You know, when you get older as a ball player, it's harder to do it on a consistent basis. That doesn't mean, you know, 1 out of every 5 starts you find your old form, whether you're a position player or, in A.J. Burnett's case tonight, a pitcher.
Well, Burnett 7 hits this year. Roark misses inside. Tanner, by the way, only 9 pitches to get through that 2nd inning. That's something he really needed. And now the pitcher leading off. Eight o'clock in South Philly. Bob FP and Dan right here on Masson tonight. Nationals open up a 3-game series with the Phils. A 9-game 10-day road trip east to west. Just missing 2-2. Tanner tried to run it back to the outside corner.
There's a Fanatic, our old friend.
One of my highlights is still when Jason Worth stole the keys to his 3-wheeler one night and they had to carry it off the field. Maybe the best prank ever.
No. That was a good prank. That was a very good prank.
Yeah.
but nothing.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean nothing beats
You're going to go lottery, aren't you?
$521 million in the Powerball and $705 million on the Mega Millions out in the bullpen for the Nats.
And they still have that sign out near the visiting bullpen after all this time.
2 years ago, probably the best prank we've ever seen.
That was pretty good.
Laughed for 3 straight innings. There's a Powerball.
But see, anybody can fool gamblers. You fool the fanatic.
Hey, those guys said there was people taking pictures of it, calling their friends, telling them to buy tickets. That one you just saw was $521 million, and thanks to whoever sent it to me on Twitter today. And then $705 million was the Mega Millions. Asked Tyler about that today.
They almost caused the state of Pennsylvania to go bankrupt.
He said somebody came out into the clubhouse actually and said, "You guys can't do that anymore." I said, "Well, like the way you guys are playing right now, you can pretty much do whatever you want. Don't be afraid to have some fun with that out there." So we'll see if they toy with it. He said the numbers are still there. Everything's still there.
Oh, that was a pretty good looking 2-0 pitch to Ben Revere, and it's ball 3. Remember, he hardly ever walks. And a ball lashed out to second. Espinosa will grab it. And Tanner Roark battles back from a 3-0 count. He's now retired. 6 in a row. That'll bring in Jimmy Rollins. He has the Phil's only hit. Line drive over Ian Desmond into left field. First time up. First time around, the Phillies go 1 for 8 with a walk. The Nationals go 1 for 9. First pitch 79 for a strike. Well, you throw 32 in the first inning. The pitch count's going to take about 4 or 5 innings for Tanner to settle down into a normal range. And Jimmy Rollins is going to be out ahead of that one. And it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Fan almost got himself a souvenir. Just foul.
2-2. And Rollins right off the end of the bat, right behind the mound. Roark was prepared to go over the shoulder, and Ian Desmond called him off. So, our Honda duo, top of the 4th inning. Anthony Rendon still in the top 10 of the league in extra base hits. Nobody in Major League Baseball has scored more than his 92 runs.
Rollins a single, stolen base. A.J. Burnett absolutely dealing. Tanner Roark making the adjustments on the fly. So a pitcher's duel here early in Philadelphia. A.J. Burnett looking like young A.J. You look at some Geico highlights, striking out Jason Worth with the curveball. Danny Espinosa with the heater, and Tanner Roark is figuring it out too. Nice curveball right there to Marlon Byrd. And then decides, hey, you know what? I'm going to break up the no-hitter. First knock of the night, only knock of the night for the Nats.
Rendon, Worth, LaRoche, top of the fourth. And because of the strikeouts, A.J. Burnett averaging 15 pitches per inning. You got Rendon on a two-hopper to Jimmy Rollins, first time up. Had a pitch to work with, 93. Just off to the right, he fouled it.
So, Carl, I want to ask you something. After his last start, A.J. Burnett was asking about if he'll be on the field for next year. His quote was, "I have no idea." Then he paused and he said, "Probably not." Which is strange to me because after his 27th start, his 2015 contract kicked in at $10 million per.
And tonight's his 28th start.
Right. It would increase to 11.75 after his 30th start and 12.75 after his 32nd start. So that's a big statement by the Phillies right-hander that basically said no, but who knows if he was serious or not.
Yeah. That's a busted bat. Rollins to go backhand on the charge, and Rendon really got down the line to make it close. Well done by the shortstop and the hitter running.
Oh, we've seen a couple errors on Anthony Rendon ground balls lately because everybody knows that he is sneaky fast and he's going to run hard every single time to first base. You see Jimmy Rollins backhanding this ball, and Rendon flying down the line just gets him by a step. A nice play. It seems like the veteran shortstops, especially Jimmy Rollins, always get their man by a step.
Yeah. Rendon's a low flyer when he goes down that line, man. That was impressive. Here's Worth. Yeah, I heard that about Ozzie Smith and Barry Larkin late in their careers. They always get the runner by a step. How do they do that? Well, you know that great fielders have that internal clock.
Right.
They just know. They
thousands
feel it.
and thousands and thousands of ground balls.
Yeah.
And you know, oh, I remember this one. It's this hard. This guy's that fast. I have to do this to get to the ball. And then when I get it, I have to get rid of it this quick. It's part of experience.
Part of playing baseball when you're 35 years old. 2-0 to Worth. And a big hook drops in, and you're going to say yes.
Yes.
Because he always has the green light. Especially in a situation like this. 3 quiet innings for both offenses in a hitter's ballpark.
Good numbers.
Maybe not up in the zone as much as he would like.
Or close enough to him. I think you go pull mode 3-0. You're not looking to go opposite field home run when you're green light in 3-0.
Doesn't go down much on 3-1. He'll take the base on balls. And now Jason Worth has walked 60 times this year. And he's in the top 10 in the league in that department, as is the man behind him, Adam LaRoche. We'll go back to Worth, though, and here's Dan.
Bob, Jason Worth doesn't steal bases too frequently at this point in his career, but as you guys mentioned yesterday, he's now got a stolen base percentage of 87.7% in his career, which is just behind Chase Utley for the all-time lead among players with at least 120 stolen base attempts. I asked Matt Williams earlier today why he thinks Worth is so successful there, and he says Worth is conscious of what's going on at all times. He monitors the pitcher and the catcher, trying to pick up on tendencies, but he also understands the situation and whether or not they would pay attention to him over there or not. And yesterday was a prime example of that. He stole second base in the 8th inning with Adam LaRoche up and the count 3-0. Knowing that the Giants weren't focusing on him and that him getting in scoring position could allow the Nats to add a key insurance run. And he made it easily and scored 2 batters later on Ian Desmond's RBI single. So he doesn't run too often, but when he does, guys, he's successful the vast majority of the time.
Yeah, 7 for 7 this year, 121 in his career. FB talked about the percentage. He's not that far on the field right now from his old teammate Chase Utley. For guys with 120 steals, the 2 highest percentages ever.
Well, it's just being smart and not just running to run. There's a lot that goes into a stolen base. Number one, it's your best jump. So if you have a green light, you only go when you get your best jump. Some guys will run through a bad jump and get thrown out. You know, number two, when you've been around the league a lot, you know the pitcher's moves. You know the times you can go on, the times you can't. And three, you peek in and get a sign, and anytime it's off speed, you go. That's the recipe for a high stolen base success rate. I mean, it goes so far as to know the hitter hitting behind you. And if he's a first pitch fastball guy, there's no way they throw him that. So you go on the first pitch because you know he's getting a curve.
Yeah. 0-2 to LaRoche. He worked over Span with the hook. And Jason Worth had a little lean going there. Low throw to Ryan Howard. You know, it's hard to believe now, but when Jason Worth finishes this season, he'll be with the Nats as long as he was with the Phillies. 7, 8, 9, 10 there. 11 through 14 with the Nationals. There's another breaking ball. A.J. Burnett going Bronson Arroyo tonight. Hooking all over the place, and that's his 7th K of the night. Nissan will track it.
Yeah, but his fastball's what's setting this up. His fastball's mid-90s tonight, and it's got some pop at the end. Curveball short and tight, but as a hitter, you have to respect 94. Get your swing going early and opens up the off speed.
Well, here's Ian Desmond, who, as you mentioned, rare at bat we saw from him first time up. 6 pitches, took them all, including a high fastball just at the ceiling of the strike zone to strike him out. And that was an uncertain swing at 93.
Well, you knew he wasn't going to take 7.
All it takes is one piece of contact in a game like this to make a big difference. Adds way outside, and a good backhanded pick on a short hop for Carlos Ruiz.
I haven't seen too many changeups from Burnett. It's pretty much fastball, curveball. Got a good feel for both. Well, this should be a curveball on the other side, even though it's a 2-1 count. That was a stand me up, show me fastball in to try to get to the other side of the plate.
7 Ks. Burnett struck out 9 Mariners last time out in 7 2/3, a 5-2 loss. And there it is outside. That's a fastball at 93, but the location you anticipated. His season high in strikeouts 11. May 30th against the Mets. He had one other double-digit game, 10 at Miami, July 1st. No score, top of the 4th here. Every 90 feet, a struggle tonight. And Desmond high in the air. Right field corner for Marlon Byrd. Running out of room, but able to grab it in foul ground. Nationals strand their second base runner. Burnett and Roark. Good battle in South Philly tonight. authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals.
Still no score from Philadelphia as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Just 2 hits in this baseball game. There's a Nana dude making the trip up north. Love it. It's time to tweet your photo using hashtag MASSonFanPhotos. We'll show it on TV. That is brought to you by AT&T.
Tanner Roark. Bottom 4, Utley, Howard, Bird, 3, 4, 5 for the Phillies. And he dropped 79 in there to get ahead. Utley pinned Jason Worth up against the scoreboard. First time up. With Jimmy Rollins on base, who singled. Had stolen a base during that AB. And another off-speed pitch, 1-1. Chase Utley, 12th year with the Phillies. Little tapper right off the end of the bat. And Tanner trying to paint with 91. Counts even 2-2. Got in on the hands of Chase Utley. It's another pop-up right to the mound. Roark called it, and then Rendon called him off. So he tried to catch one against Rollins last inning, and Utley right here.
Well, they teach you from a young age, never let a pitcher catch a pop-up. But if any pitcher could handle it, it would be Tanner Roark, and he wanted this bad. Hey, I got it. And Rendon says, no, I got this. This is what I do. I do this every day. But he could have caught it.
Yeah. He and Doug Fister could catch any pop-up that's fair.
Well, all of them throughout the league think they can. There's no doubt about that.
True. Ryan Howard walked on an 11-pitch at bat, first time up. That's what got Roark to those 32 pitches in the first inning. And another big hook. 1-1. Nissan will track this one.
Nice 12-6 curveball, bottom dropping out. Look at the first pitch, second pitch. Starting to really work the ball down, slowing things down, getting it out front, hitting the spots a lot more effective.
Yeah, then he tried to buzz the inside corner with a heater. 2-1. And Howard will pull it to right. It's going to stay in the park, and it hits high off the wall over Worth. And Ryan Howard will have to hustle into second base with a double.
Could have had a triple.
Yeah, he was already in his slide. Didn't see Worth miss it. And the Nats are fortunate that one stayed in.
Yeah, they're lucky it stayed in the ballpark. But even though Ryan Howard goes down and gets the changeup, you see him making the adjustment from the first at-bat to the second at-bat. That ball just missing and getting out of here. He made a mistake on the bases. He took his eyes off Jason Worth. He just assumed Worth was going to field it. Watch him. He gets his eyes on second base right there. He should be still looking at Worth. If he was, he might have gotten into third base.
Phillies have their second runner tonight in scoring position. Here's Marlon Byrd. Roark struck him out first time. And Marlon still looking for contact for the first time against Tanner Roark. Low with the fastball, 1-1. Pulled. Rendon slows it down, can't get it. Ryan Howard to third. And it'll be first and third with one out as Marlon Byrd makes contact against Tanner Roark for the first time in their 6 career matchups.
Tried to jam him with the fastball, but Marlon Byrd did a nice job of pulling his hands in, getting to the two-seamer from Roark. Nice effort by Rendon, just got under his glove. Definitely saved a run for the time being. Ryan Howard scores on that if it gets through.
It'll bring in Dominic Brown, who's having a rough year. Popped up to short first time. And he pulls one up the middle, and Espinosa couldn't get it. Danny had designs on a double play and got nobody on a ball he appeared to get to, and the Phillies are on top.
Boy, he thought this was an ending double play. Espinosa was there. He just kind of, if he didn't see it, it got lost in between, and Gary Cederstrom got in the way, but that was funny how he went for that ball with his glove kind of going with the bounces, and it got underneath. Not used to seeing that with Danny at second.
Dominic Brown is 55th RBI. Still only one out. Tanner Roark unlucky. Couple of well-placed ground balls in this inning. Here's Carlos Ruiz.
Yeah, we're not making an excuse for Danny, but I've had that happen to me at second base where the umpire actually blocks your vision on the hops and how they're going to happen. I don't think that happened there. Cederstrom is out of the way. Good shot of it, guys.
Another ball pulled. Rendon can go to the bag and then throw across for a 5-3 double play. So Tanner Roark keeps throwing ground balls. Phillies take some 3 hits to get 1 run in the 4th. Close for now. University of Maryland, University College, with a piece of history. From '85, he was 20 years, 9 months, 9 days. Doc Gooden, 20-game winner. Mets beat San Diego at Shea Stadium. 27 days younger than former Indian Bob Feller, who did it with the Tribe back in 1939.
So Cameron's got this between innings, and Tanner Roark going over to Danny and telling him, "You've picked me up enough times this year. I picked you up right there at the double play. Don't worry about it. That's what good teams do."
That was the year Doc Gooden went 24-4, and they just missed out on the Eastern Division Championship. St. Louis beat them out. And Howard Johnson said to Doc Gooden in the clubhouse after the last game of the season, "Doc, if you hadn't lost those 4 games, we would have won this thing."
Great line.
He went 24-4. Well, A.J. Burnett back to work. Bryce Harper takes one off the plate inside.
Pretty good pitch by Burnett. Tried to run that fastball back. Did this come back for a strike on a pitch track? It did.
Mercedes-Benz says so. 2-1 to Bryce. Off speed, ball 3.
Now one of the few changeups he's really thrown tonight. Bryce seeing it well.
Yeah, but Bryce can sit on something here. I mean, he doesn't even have to come close to getting all of one to get it out of this yard. And he lays off the curveball, but it's a strike. He was on his way to first base. Taking his time, making the U-turn.
Well, he didn't think it was a strike. 3-1 curveball. Gets the call.
That gets the quiet tonight Philly fans on him a bit. Now 3-2 with nobody out. He's going to hit it hard and foul the other way.
Yeah, watch Bryce's batting practice today, and everything was up the middle. Line drive after line drives to left field. And oftentimes Bryce will just go launch mode and hit stuff in the upper deck. Really buying into this up the middle swing. You saw, the results yesterday. A mistake in, he hits it out of the ballpark. But Matt Williams talking about, hey, yeah, just stay up the middle. The home runs will come.
Almost as many hits up the middle as pulled. And that curveball is just nasty tonight. 8 Ks. Harper twice for A.J. Burnett.
Well, Burnett has everything working for a strike, and he has confidence enough to throw his curveball when he's behind in the count, 3-1, and in a 3-2 count here to Bryce for strike 3. Now, you don't have confidence in that curveball. You're not throwing it for strikes. You lay a 3-2 fastball in right there. Could have been a tie game. He's throwing whatever pitch he wants at any count. 4 strikes.
Third inning is long inning because of the Roark hit and the span 8-pitch at bat right after it. There's Wilson Ramos, who got eaten up with breaking balls his first time. A couple of pitchers in this league having good nights. Francisco Liriano with the Pirates, 1-0 lead at home. Showdown series they're having with St. Louis. The Pirates 5 back in the Central. Milwaukee at San Diego later tonight. And a 2-0. Burnett trying to get through 5 innings here.
Gives you an idea of the late life on the heater, even though that was, what, 92? In a 2-0 count, Wilson just a little bit late. That was right down the middle.
A.J. Burnett's a 153-game winner in his big league career. One of only 6 active with at least 150. And a 2-2 pitch. Front door breaking ball, and Ramos fouls it off. Tim Hudson, 214. CC Sabathia, 208. Bartolo Colon, 201. Mark Burley, 197. And then comes A.J. Burnett with 153. So 6 pitchers over 150. He's number 5 on the list. And he's got everybody reaching. Strikeout number 9, his 3rd highest total of the year, and it's only the 5th inning.
It just kind of expands to the outer half. Little cut to that fastball from Burnett, so he saw Wilson chase the 2-1 fastball off the plate to get to 2-2, and he just kept going that way, and Wilson went with him.
Struck out Danny Espinosa 2 innings ago.
It's the one thing Burnett really hasn't done special tonight is that front hip job to lefties. Everything else has been really on point.
One ball, one strike. Well, he missed with a curveball, trying to bring it in from the outside. Danny Espinosa, 3 for 16 career against Burnett with 7 strikeouts.
Yeah, I don't know about that pitch selection right there between Carlos Ruiz and A.J. Burnett. He struck Danny Espinosa out first time with a fastball, just threw it right by him. Gets to a 2-1 count, tries to get tricky with the curveball. And now they get to a 3-1 count where Espinosa is all in on a fastball. See what they go with.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe the pitcher on deck has something to do with that. Here's a 3-1. And he'll go heater, and I think it hit Danny. So either a walk or a hit batter. He'll go down to first base anyway.
Now here comes the offense.
The Nats' only hit is Tanner Roark. And if he could plug a gap somewhere, he could chase in his first RBI of the year. So Espinosa hit by the pitch, avoiding the 1-2-3 inning, at least giving the Nats a chance to turn over that lineup. Phillies a run on 4 hits. The Nats no runs on a walk, a hit batter, and 1 hit.
Respect first pitch curveball, and Burnett wants to know where it was. And after his last outing, we know that he's not afraid to ask.
Well, in fact, he told Chris Guccione that was outside.
Yes.
And that was the last pitch of that night at Nationals Park. Roark takes it on the inside edge. The count's even. That wasn't in Tanner's wheelhouse. It was a little too close.
Yeah, he didn't like that one.
That is extension, and he just missed the bag at first.
Tanner Roark feeling frisky at the plate tonight, trying to shoot one down the line and maybe score Espinosa.
He IDs the breaking ball, lays off 2-2. Trying to keep this inning going for Denard Span. Holds on to that way too long. That's huge, because Espinosa gets a head start in case there's something more than a single.
All right, are you watching this? He's really pitching to Tanner Roark. I mean, he's grinding right now against the only hit the Nats have tonight. And you're right, Espinosa gets a head start. And the crowd here in Philly starting to get behind their right-hander.
Roark hangs in there, and Espinosa will come back.
It's a good hack. Right on that 3-2 fastball. That might have bought him a 3-2 curve, although I don't know how much confidence he has in it after throwing one in the dirt. Bell tie fastball, good swing.
And Roark can't get it. That's number 10 for A.J. Burnett. Strikes out the side for the second time in the last 3 innings.
Okay, 1-0 Phillies as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. And Nationals, the season plan holders can now renew their plans for 2015 and reserve their postseason tickets. Season plan holders who upgrade their plans for 2015 before September 5th will also have the opportunity to receive upgraded seats for the 2014 postseason. For all renewal and postseason ticket details, visit nationals.com/renew.
Ashe, Burnett, and Revere 8-9-1 for the Phillies. Bottom of the 5th. Cody Ashe lined out hard to Danny Espinosa, first time up.
Really good base here at Citizens Bank. But wait till we get to Los Angeles and play the Dodgers.
Base as in coming from the speakers?
Yes.
It is a tooth-rattling sound system in L.A.
Yes. You can't even hear yourself think.
What?
Huh?
That's why we have an off day coming back.
Get our ears back.
That pitch was hanging up, and Ashe hits his 9th homer of the year. Hit it hard the first time. And now the Phillies lead 2-0. Tanner Roark gives up his 13th home run.
Yeah, difference is he got this one elevated. First time up, he hit a bolt right at Danny Espinosa at second base. This time, gets a changeup right down the middle. And hit it far.
Yeah, well up into the lower deck out there. Here's A.J. Burnett. He goes up hacking and fouls it right back this way. Phillies are 11th in the league. That's their 103rd home run. Nats have given up some long balls over the last week or so, but they've been able to outscore their opponents. Some close games and then a blowout here or there. Anthony Rendon. That was a hot shot from A.J. Burnett. 1 out.
All right, free T-shirts that Cox is giving away right now. Visit any Cox Solution store throughout Virginia for your free T-shirt. It's open to all fans. You don't have to be a Cox customer. Visit Cox.com for your nearest store while supplies last. They must have a lot of T-shirts because we've been doing that promo for a while.
Top of the order, Ben Revere. Pulling it twice to Espinosa, ground ball and a line drive. He's hitting .324 in this ballpark.
He's 3 hits shy and 2 stolen bases shy of becoming only the 4th Philly outfielder since 1907 with at least 150 hits and 40 stolen bases in a season.
Wow.
He's had multi-hit games in 26 of his last 51.
So we go inside the numbers with Jeep. Guys who just don't strike out.
Well, you look at Simmons, you look at Revere. Even more, no, those guys hack. So they're very aggressive hitters. And what does that mean? Well, they're putting balls into play early in the count. They're never going to 2-strike counts. We talked about Revere walking yesterday for the first time in forever, 171 plate appearances. Denard Span is 3rd on that list, and he's a guy that hits with 2 strikes a lot. So in my mind, just looking at that graphic, Denard Span is the hardest guy to strike out, not the guys around him that swing early in the count and never get to 2 strikes. And
Roark will take care of that. A couple of quick outs after the home run, and Jimmy Rollins stepping in. And by the way, that stat on Revere is a good one because for 77 years, nobody ever did it in Philadelphia. Von Hayes was the first in '84, Milt Thompson '87, and more recently Bobby Abreu 10 years ago.
Can be a very misleading stat, guys that are hard to strike out, if they're putting the ball in play in the first 2 pitches every single time.
Yeah, that's true. Jimmy Rollins 1 for 2, base hit to left, pop up to short. Fastball, it's up and it's in the zone still. 0-2. Jimmy Rollins, no beef with that call by Jim Reynolds. Tanner with the breaking ball down. It's kind of interesting. His pitch count now is slightly below that of A.J. Burnett, who's thrown 88 pitches in 5 innings. But when you strike out 10, there will be lots of offerings. So he may be out in another inning or 2.
Pretty good pitch.
Trying to handcuff the left-handed batter on 0-2.
There's 3 pitches in the strike zone and a 2-2 count.
That one ran back, and I think Tanner thought he had strike 3.
So tried to run back the fastball. What does pitch track say? Well, there's 4 pitches in the strike zone and a 3-2 count.
Rollins strikes out.
There's 5 pitches in the strike zone and a 3-3 count.
Tanner Roark, second strikeout tonight. And folks, when we come back, you know what's coming up, don't you? Yeah, it's Denard Span, Rendon and Werth. But we talked about it an hour and 45 minutes ago. It's the 6th inning. From the 6th inning on lately, the Nationals have been the most dominant team in baseball.
For the Nationals, Span and Ben Revere have quite a good bit in common. Both were drafted by the Twins, both were traded by Minnesota in the winter of 2012, and both are now playing center field and leading off for teams in the National League East. The two overlapped for a few years with the Twins and became pretty good friends in that time. Revere raves about Span as a player in person, calling him a great mentor. And Span calls Revere a good kid and joked that he puts emphasis on the word kid. Revere told me that he really appreciated how Span took him under his wing in Minnesota and that he's really happy to see Span have the success that he's had because he works his tail off. Revere called Span's defensive instincts remarkable and said that he taught him a lot about where to position himself defensively. The two would work on routes and getting jumps on the ball during BP in 2011 and 2012, with Span showing Revere the ropes as he flies one into center, and Revere makes the grab. Both guys have also had incredible success offensively since the All-Star break. Span leads the majors with 56 hits during the second half, and Revere is right behind him, ranking second in the majors with 51 hits.
Well, Denard's 30, Ben Revere 26, so thus the kidding about the kid sort of thing. Not that far apart in age, but yeah, a couple of former Twins doing quite well over in this league.
Maybe Dan could do a report of Anthony Rendon in the left field seats.
One meeting the other?
Yeah, because Denard just flew out to Benton.
That would be better than a ground ball to Cody Ashe. And as if called, this one hooking into the corner, and it gets out of here. I guess you did the report. And then now it's 2-1. Number 17 for Anthony Rendon.
Well, if you thought they were going away, you're just silly.
It's the 6th inning.
6th inning, you called it. That was a little topspin job, and you were wondering, was it going to stay up long enough to ride out of this ballpark? And the question answered. Anthony Rendon with home run number 17, RBI number 69, and game number 126, and we got a one-run game.
Yeah, that quickly. Here comes Werth. That's a fastball to the outside edge. A.J. Burnett has now given up 16 home runs this year, and 5 of them are to the Nationals.
Let's see where the location of the fastball is to Rendon. Yeah, up and in. He wanted that on the other side. Rendon ready for it. Pulls his hands in. Gets the barrel to it. I mean, does anybody have a more powerful bent arm swing in baseball than Anthony Rendon? I mean, that ball he hit in San Diego was a bent arm swing in the upper deck. Nobody goes upper deck at Petco. And that one right there, I mean, didn't get all of it, but just enough of the barrel on the baseball. A knack that you really can't teach to get it out of the yard and make it a one-run game.
Worth made an offer. Oh, he's going to be punched out by Manny Gonzalez down at first, and he can't believe it.
Well, let's take another look at it. Manny Gonzalez punched him out like a boxer. He really enjoyed that, I believe. Wow.
He did not go around.
And he really missed it, I
That's
believe,
a bad call.
on further review.
I mean, that's as bad a miss as you will see on a check swing. Here's Adam LaRoche, 0 for 2. He has grounded out and struck out.
Most hitters check swing. They'll argue about it. They'll go back and look at the tape, and 90% of the time they really went. That time, Jason Worth had a legitimate beef. He didn't go.
Adam LaRoche continues to have trouble with that A.J. Burnett breaking ball under his hands. Burnett has tied his season high with 11. It's his 35th career 10 or more strikeout game. And you would think he'd throw nothing else to LaRoche until the count gets him, or Adam could at least foul a couple off. Then he goes fastball, and LaRoche wasn't ready. Couldn't pull the trigger after all those hooks. 12 Ks for A.J. Burnett, but the Nats are a run closer. Anthony Rendon gets around one, hooks it into the shrubbery just in front of the seats in left field. Tanner Roark trying to keep things as they are, 2-1. So last 13 games from the 6th inning on, the Nats plus 20 on the run side, and you'd have to add one more for the home run tonight. Batting over 300, the runners in scoring position numbers great, and the home runs just start flying out in the late innings.
Hey, look at that last number, 7 wins by 1 run in this 12-1 stretch. So it's not like they've been blowing out people. They've been grinding.
Tanner Roark and Chase Utley.
Except for yesterday when the Redskins beat the 49ers 14-6.
That was some second half. He has recovered quite nicely. Season high 112 against Milwaukee back in the second week of July. At home, an 8-3 win when he went 7.
Now, we always talk about a shutdown inning to keep the momentum. I think even more important when you're going up against a guy like A.J. Burnett that's on cruise control right now. Just to get him right back out there on the mound. You know, older pitchers have a tendency to run out of gas quicker. And even though Burnett's been on cruise control with impeccable stuff tonight, you'd like to see him jump right back up on that mound as quick as possible.
Jerry Blevins throwing for the Nationals. Roark's batting spot not due to come up for a while. But if Utley got aboard, probably wouldn't bring him in to face Howard with a couple of right-handers, at least one right-hander, Bird, coming up. That ball hits the mound. And Ian Desmond almost took too much time. Chase Utley was smelling a base hit. For the Achiever and you, PNC Bank has our minor league report. Xavier Cedeno, we checked in on him recently. He's still pitching well for the Syracuse Chiefs at AAA. So the ERA 2.41. Nobody hitting him. It's 171. And a nearly 5-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio from the left side of the Syracuse bullpen. Here's Ryan Howard.
So talked to Matt Williams before the game today. He got an email from a gentleman that said he has a game-worn Babe Ruth uniform that he can use when eventually he does his imitation.
Wow.
So how good is that going to be when he finally decides to do it? And if you missed it, we said that, hey, he doesn't want to take attention away from his ball club right now. It's all about them. It's a pennant race, but he's going to live up to the bet. It's just a matter of when, and he can decide it. I'm okay with that. Because I feel bad for starting this whole mess. I asked him that question in May. I mean, 2005 was the last time this franchise won 10 games in a row. Even though you knew they had a chance, just didn't see that happening.
I can't wait to see how Babe Ruth's uniform fits Matt Williams.
I want to say,
I'm hoping he's got to put some stuffing in there.
He runs the coaches' camaraderie run. They run about 4 or 5 miles 3-4 times a week. Yeah, it's going to be big. Unless, of course, it's Trump. If I was throwing the dryer, probably wouldn't devalue it that much.
3-2, and it's lined hard, and that's Rendon taking a line drive. Third baseman playing up the middle, with Desmond staying home at short. On the shift, 2 outs.
Well, I think the last 2 hitters, you've seen what happens late in the season in your division. You know, the scouting report's so in depth at this point. Like I said before, they know where you eat lunch. Ian Desmond, perfect place for the Chase Utley ground ball. And with the shift, Anthony Rendon, perfectly placed. It's hard to get hits in your division late just based on positioning alone.
Marlon Byrd 1 for 2. Base hit last time. Just under the glove of Anthony Rendon that set up their first run back in the 4th. Howard had doubled, went to third on that play, and then Dominic Brown hit one hard up the middle that Espinosa couldn't get, and the Phillies were on top. Tanner still throwing the ball well. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mercedes-Benz will track the number 2.
A little slider. that Marlon Byrd wishes he had back.
Liner to left hand, Bryce Harper right there. And the battle of the lights probably a little on that play. And we're going to the 7th inning. Desmond Harper Ramos in a 1-run game.
Benz game summary brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Arlington and Mercedes-Benz of Alexandria. 2-1 Phillies as we enter the top of the 7th inning. And it's been about the long ball. Cody Ashley getting into one. A little bat flip right there. He knew he got him. That made it 2-0. And then Anthony Rendon comes up and says, we'll cut that lead in half with one swing. John West gets over the rail and into the left field bleachers. Ian Desmond passing it around, sharing the wealth, gets the assist right there in helmet basketball in the Nats dugout. Talked to Jason Worth today. That was not a bang shot yesterday off the top of the dugout. That was a brick, just like we suspected.
99th pitch from A.J. Burnett, and Desmond went up hacking. 7th inning underway. Nats box. A hit by Roark after 8 in a row by Burnett to start the game. That was in the 3rd, and a walk to Worth in the 4th. Espinosa hit by a pitch, 2 outs in the 5th. That is it, other than the Rendon blast. And Desmond will hit that ball well out to left center. It is off the glove of Dominic Brown. He was kind of cruising to that ball, and he didn't get it. And that's a big 2 bags for the Nats.
Well, he's getting booed because that's not the first time that's happened here in Philadelphia. And people here have questioned his defense all year, and he had a beat on that ball. And I think, as a major league outfielder, should have made that play. And if they scored that a hit, that's a generous double for Ian Desmond. He'll take it all the time because Brown was there. He had a beat on it. He reached up and just fanned.
Yeah, they do give him an extra base hit. And a big spot now for Bryce Harper, who has struck out twice against A.J. Burnett. Tying run, second base, nobody out. Harper high in the air, and that's to the wrong side of the field. Desmond goes back to tag, but some South Philly cheers as Brown catches the fly ball.
Yeah, unproductive out right there by Bryce. 1-run game in the 7th inning. You got to get that guy over.
It's up to Ramos and Espinosa now. 2 shots to tie it. Ramos has struck out twice. Gets jammed. Little flare right field, but plenty of time for Bird to get there. And this inning unraveling in a hurry unless Espinosa can save it with 2 outs.
Well, decision time for Ryan Sandberg right here. Do you pitch to Danny Espinosa with first base open? You don't necessarily want to put the winning run on, but Matt Williams counters with Nate Sherholtz in the on-deck circle to ensure that Espinosa gets something to hit.
And Tanner Roark's thrown 103 pitches. Nats trying to get him off the hook here in the 7th. Burnett's at 102. He's had a double and 2 fly balls in this inning on 4 pitches. And Espinosa will fly it to center. Leadoff double. And then about 3 or 4 more pitches to end the inning and get this one to the 7th inning stretch. 2-1 Phillies. It's brought to you by Hyundai from Citizens Bank Park in Philly. Yeah, there's still some cobblestones up in the historical district up by Independence Hall. Beautiful night in the city of brotherly love. Take over for the Nationals. 2-1 ball game with 6, 7, 8 coming up. And as we promised you earlier, the AT&T fan photo.
Well, it looks like a party. I'm wondering if that's my man, the rally mullet in the middle there. Kind of looks like him, and they're celebrating something. Probably one of the various walk-off wins during the last homestand.
Well, evidently on the field, not the only place you can make a mess when you have a walk-off victory. So here's Jerry Blevins, left-hander, making his 54th appearance. 52 Ks in 46 innings. And the league's hitting .231 against him. First up, Dominic Brown. 0 for 1 career with a strikeout against the Nats left-hander. So Tanner Roark can only get a loss or a no decision tonight. That was the last chance the Nats had to get him a W. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, a walk, 2 strikeouts, 103 pitches, 61 strikes. He battled well. Got a base hit. And Blevins with a big hook to Dominic Brown. And he baits him with another breaking ball, this one in the dirt. A.J. Burnett got through that 7th inning on 5 pitches. All strikes. Phillies box. Dominic Brown RBI singled in the 4th, and the leadoff homer by Cody Asche. Just 1 inning later, and that's the extent of their offense. That ball's going to be away from Rendon. Bryce Harper hustling. Dominic Brown to second base, and he is safe on a close play. Bryce Harper racing to the ball, made it close.
Well, watching the reaction of Danny Espinosa, he's not arguing with Gary Cederstrom, but Matt Williams going to come out and talk to Cederstrom about the call. Good hustle by Bryce Harper getting over here, barehanded the ball. Dominic Brown can run a little bit. Watch Bryce, bare hand, sling it sidearm, bullet right on the money. And did Espinosa get the tag in there? And it might have been when Brown popped up off the base, if you're thinking about a replay. I think the foot got in there, but right, watch, there, he was off the base, and if the tag was still on him, he's out.
They're going to look.
It wasn't the initial tag. It was after his foot went into the base. He popped up off the base. There was nothing touching second base, and Espinosa, I think that was a pretty quick look, left the tag on Brown, and if he did, he's out.
I'm going to show the replay here.
So initially his foot's in there, watch. He beats it, but it's after the crowd's clapping because they're clapping about this part, but watch when, keep going, right there, he's out. Tag on him, nothing's on the base, he's out. And they'll look at that, they'll see that, and they should call him out. If they don't, they missed it.
And right now on the scoreboard,
now they got to keep rolling it. They didn't roll it far enough.
What the Phillies scoreboard crew is doing here.
They got to keep rolling it.
See if they do it again. They keep freezing the replay.
Right there, he's
when
out.
Dominic Brown is on the bag, and now they finally show him coming off the bag. And the Phillies dugout has to see that.
So Brown's going to get credit for a single, it looks like.
And Bryce Harper, another assist if it all works out the way it should.
Well, give Bryce a lot of credit for making that happen. How many left fielders sprint for that baseball, barehanded, wing it in there with that much velocity on the money to give that whole play an opportunity? And give Matt Williams credit for hopping up real quick and seeing what we saw on the replay.
Yeah, it's the kind of call that never got made before, FP. Because, you know, and the opposite was true, too. If the throw beat you and maybe you didn't get tagged, you were out 95% of the time. But on this play, it's something they never really even considered unless a guy just, like, totally fell off the bag.
It's the baseball version of was his knee down before the fumble.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
Runners out. They got it right. And Bryce Harper to Danny Espinosa on the assist. Dominic Brown gunned down, trying to stretch a single into a double, and that's a huge play. And Ryan Sandberg wants to know what the ruling is, and Jim Reynolds going to explain to him, hey, your guy came off the bag.
Well, Ryan Sandberg's questioning Carp if Danny Espinosa pushed him off the bag. If they rule that Espinosa forced him off the bag, it's irrelevant, but he didn't. It was the momentum that took him off the bag. Espinosa was falling all over the place, and they got it right. So if Danny pulls him off right there, like lifts up, then he's safe regardless, but he didn't.
One out, base is empty. Carlos Ruiz, the hitter. He's hit a pair of ground balls.
And also give Espinosa credit for sticking his nose in there with cleats coming at him full speed. That's not easy.
2 minutes and 2 seconds on the challenge. Actually, the review after the challenge. Carlos Ruiz with a take, no swing, facing Jerry Blevins for the first time.
That's a good point you make, Carp. I think a lot of times Major League Baseball keeping track of the actual challenge itself and how long it's taken, but it's never taken into account, you know, how long it gets to that point with the manager sauntering out, turning the umpire, looking into the dugout. We've seen some extended talks before the thumbs up or thumbs down from the bench coaches here on both sides. And I think that's a part they really need to work on next year, on how long you have to make the appeal.
Well, in Mel Antonen's interview last week with Tony La Russa while the Diamondbacks were in town, that's the point La Russa made, is that's part of the process they're going to try to speed up next year. 3-0 pitch. Fastball runs to the outside edge.
Because the longer I take as a manager to get out there and talk about the weather or whatever, the more looks that my crew gets inside the clubhouse at the replay before I decide to make the challenge. So if you take your time, you could have your guys in the clubhouse looking at 10, 12, 15 replays, different angles, multiple times before you make a decision. Nicely done by Matt Williams.
That ball is jacked high in the air to left. Harper feeling his way along the wall. He's got no chance. And the Phillies have taken a 3-1 lead.
Well, the challenge saves the Nats a run. I guess you could say, who knows if Blevins throws that same pitch with a runner on second. Carlos Ruiz, 4th home run of the year.
Number 8 man Cody Ashe, 0 for 2 career against Blevins. And Jerry Blevins gives up his 3rd home run of the year. Number 9 spot next, and big strong infielder Darren Ruff is waiting. Blevins with a good curveball in there. .370 Phillies, 1-3-0 Nationals. Bottom of the 7th inning. Front door breaking ball that'll sit down Cody Ashe. 2 outs here in the 7th, and the hitter will be Darren Ruff, who's big and strong but strikes out a lot.
DC area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a donation of $37 to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this season.
Darren Ruff, 28 years of age, hit 14 homers for the Phillies last year in 73 games, but he struck out 91 times. It's been up and down between here and Lehigh Valley this season. And he's 0 for 1 career against Jerry Blevins. Good off speed, 84 diving.
Yeah, lefties haven't really been the problem for Blevins this year, hitting just 146 against him. It's the right-handers that have given him a tough time at 308.
And he just hit Darren Ruff in the foot. So he's only retired 1 out of 4 batters here in the 7th inning. Top of the order, Ben Revere. Revere 2 for 9 against Blevins. Saw each other in the American League with Minnesota and Oakland.
And maybe the stat of the night, hitting .346 against lefties.
How about that? So Blevins doesn't throw him a hook. He gives him 90 right in there. Rendon to the backhand side, robbing Revere of a hit and then throwing him out by plenty. The defensive play of the night by the Nats guy at the hot corner.
They talk about reactions. He's playing in for the bunt to take it away from Ben Revere. He stops a bullet one hopper. Rendon, just a reaction to the line, steps up and a bullet across the infield. Great play. Bottom of the 7th inning. Jake Diekman on for the Phils. Tex Masson's word of the day: maintain to 29292 for your chance to win a Ryan Zimmerman bat. And stay tuned all week for more chances to win. Brought to you by Jiffy Lube. Leave worry behind. Yeah, mid-90s fastball and a slider. You can reach upper 90s at times. Command has been an issue. You got to make him throw strikes. I see the season number, 61st appearance for Diekman. And the 27 walks in 60 innings. Opponents hitting .241, lefties .253.
Kevin Franzen in the pitcher spot for the Nats. Former Philly, and against Diekman, he's 1-for-1 career with a double. Jacks one to right center. Ball moving away from Revere. Can't get it. He does cut it off. Franzen will beat the errant throw. And the Nationals have another guy coming off the bench doing the extra base hit thing like Hairston did yesterday.
There he is, Mr. Energy. Add a little excitement to this ball game off the bench. Didn't wait around. First pitch, Hacken got a piece of cheese and knew that Ben Rivera doesn't have a good arm. Rivera cut this ball off, and one of the weaker arms in baseball. And Franzen knew it. Former teammate, just kept rolling. So a leadoff double for the second consecutive inning. Here they come.
Denard Span is 0 for 3.
See, this is a tough situation. Down by 2, you know, guy throwing 95 from the left side. You know, you'd like Denard Span to get on as well, so you don't want to just sacrifice your at-bat, especially with arguably your best hitter.
Yeah.
You want him to drive him in or at least hit some to the right side, but he's a tough guy to pull.
Span appeared to check his swing. Chris Siegel agrees. A.J. Burnett went 7, 103 pitches, 67 strikes. A run on just 3 hits, 1 walk, 12 strikeouts, a season high. He didn't look like a 6-14 pitcher tonight. First guy the Nats see after him gives up a double, and that's right on the end of Denard Span's bat. He sees it's fair, so he gets down to first base as Ryan Howard makes the catch. Rare offer for Denard Span, who hasn't hit nearly as well on the road this year as he has at home. Well, Anthony Rendon went deep earlier tonight, his 17th of the year, $250 more to the Children's National Medical Center, thanks to the generosity of our DC Lexus dealers. Lexus, the pursuit of perfection. Would he do it again?
I don't see why not.
Anthony Rendon is 0 for 2 career against Jake Diekman. And a fastball in there. Anthony's 54th extra base hit of the year was that home run. Tyler Clippard, if the Nats get back even or ahead. Ross Detweiler, if they stay behind 3-1 or 3-2. Rendon into right, and that's going to hang up, and here comes Marlon Byrd with a sliding catch. Guys can play pretty shallow here, and it's really hard to flare in hits to right field in this ballpark.
It is, and Marlon Byrd plays a good right field. You remember the last homestand, or the last time the Phillies, I should say, were at Nats Park. He made a number of nice plays. Always ready for the baseball. Just a solid baseball player all the way around.
Next up will be Jason Worth representing the tying run.
See how much interest they have in Jason with a lefty on deck.
Right-hander Justin DeFreitas. Probably for Desmond if the inning gets 2 more hitters down the lineup.
Jason asking Gary Cederstrom to move to the other side of the mound as he usually does. He doesn't like the umpire in his field of vision.
Where he'd like to position Manny Gonzalez.
Gary's having fun with him. He's moving left, moving right. Hey, stay right where you're at. It's a big at bat.
Fastball, a strike.
98.
Well, Jason's been good against the Phillies for the last couple of years.
I know you have 19 home runs on deck in Adam LaRoche, and he's shown that he can hit lefties this year. But if you're Jake Diekman and Carlos Ruiz with a base open and a right-hander up that can shoot you out of the yard, you have to be careful, don't you?
That's another breaking ball spinning into the dirt. 2-1. Fastball away. Ball 3. Tried to duplicate that first pitch fastball that caught the outside edge. 3-1 Phillies, top of the 8th inning.
3-1 slider.
One of the best in the league with runners in scoring position. 342, second best to Josh Harrison of Pittsburgh.
3-1 paint at 98. I think obviously Jason doesn't want this, and even if you do, there's not a whole lot you can do with it. Ruiz brought it back a little bit. It was off the plate away, and Worth didn't like the call.
That's well outside. 2 on, 2 out.
I don't think he ever really had any interest in getting Worth.
Walking for the second time tonight, 61 times this year. And a big spot for Adam LaRoche, who's 1 for 5 career against Jake Diekman.
Well, DeFreitas would probably be for Desmond if LaRoche should reach. And that walk by Jason Worth was worth $50 to support Girls on the Run DC. The Nationals have drawn 419 walks for $20,950. Care First, Blue Cross Blue Shield encourage each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle.
Tying runs on base. And LaRoche takes a fastball, 98 to the inside edge. Then the breaking ball. Then he threw that breaking ball front door and tried to bring it right in from Adam LaRoche's right hip.
Well, I'm telling you, that didn't have a whole lot to it. I mean, be careful with 85 to Adam LaRoche if you're going to throw it like that down the middle. Especially when you have 98, 99 in your back pocket.
Way outside, 2-2.
Just looked like he threw that one as hard as he could. Didn't care where it was going. He's coming back with the slider. That's what I'm thinking.
And a breaking ball, and to Ryan Howard it goes. The Nats have stranded 6 base runners tonight, middle of the 8th. It remains a 3-1 Philadelphia lead. brought to you by Honda. Gorgeous night in Philadelphia. Looking right down towards City Hall on the Ben Franklin Parkway. Citizens Bank Park in South Philly. And we're going to the bottom of the 8th inning. Your summer home to see the future stars of your Nationals, the Potomac Nationals. Plenty of promotions at the Fitz. Fireworks nights, bobbleheads each month. Kids eat free Sundays, Dollar Mondays. 703-590-2311. Ross Detweiler getting right back out there.
That 2-seam fastball, 4-seam fastball, sink it. So 3 different kinds of fastballs, and he'll throw them in, out, up, down, all over the place. And hopefully right in the strike zone, which he's been doing a lot of lately. Filling up, getting strike one. He's been nice out of the bullpen.
Yeah, a bit of a bump in the road on Friday night in that lopsided Giants win, but I think the Giants were going to win that night no matter what happened with the bullpen. And now the team has bounced back with a couple of wins and trying to hold the Phillies here to 3-1 8th inning with Rollins, Utley, and Howard coming up. Jimmy Rollins against Ross Detweiler, 7 for 25 with 3 doubles. Loud contact. Great drop. Actually grab and then the drop by Desmond. Ian had it in his glove, and he would have had to be perfect to make that out.
That ball hit hard by Rollins, and it looked like Desmond had it. Went into a slide, and as soon as it doesn't stick, he knows that Rollins is safe. Upset with himself that he didn't make that play. I just learned the Mariners moved King Felix back to Friday, and he'll face the Nats. It'll be Jordan Zimmerman against King Felix at Safeco on Friday night. How about that matchup?
Yeah, because the initial matchups we saw did not include him for that series. Fastball whistles inside to Chase Utley. Yeah, originally listed for Friday was former Nat right-hander Chris Young.
He's 12-6, by the way.
Yeah. Right back to Detweiler. He played it well, and now Desmond can gun out Utley on a 1-6-3 double play. Nicely done. Nats turn their second of the night.
Nicely done all the way around. Good feed by Detweiler after he snags the one hopper from Utley. And good pick by LaRoche on the backside. This one was in the dirt. Not a problem for Adam.
Jonathan Papelbon getting ready for the 9th inning. 31 saves on the year. In 33 attempts, by the way. So Papelbon, maybe not the happiest guy in baseball not to be in a pennant race. Has only blown 2 saves all year. Detweiler and Howard. And Ryan Howard, career against the Nats left-hander. Both alums of Missouri State. Ryan's 1 for 8 against his fellow Bear. Good sinking action on 93. Then the big breaking ball. Inning over. Leadoff hit, no problem. Detweiler gets the double play ball and a strikeout. Desmond Harper Ramos against Papelbon. 9th inning. It'll be game 2 of this 3-game set. Gio will be looking for his 7th win of the year. And Cole Hamels will take the mound for Philadelphia. He's 15-7 with a 2.54 ERA and 30 career starts against the Nats. 6:30 Nats Extra, and then we'll join you at 7 o'clock from the ballpark here. Off day Thursday after the Wednesday matchup, which, by the way, is Doug Fister and Kyle Kendrick. And evidently King Felix on Friday night. And the Phillies have some things going on before the game on Wednesday night. That could be a later first pitch on Wednesday with the Nats and the Phillies playing game 3.
Well, there's the repertoire. Fastball, slider, split for the out pitch. Fastball averaging 91.3 miles an hour.
Goes with the front door breaking ball at 78. Ian Desmond is 3 for 11 career against Papelbon.
Assignment number 1, get on for Bryce, see what happens.
Fastball up, and Desmond rides it upstairs.
Oh-2 mistake right there. Got away with it. Saw Ruiz stand up out of his stance. He wanted that above the letters, and he left it hittable.
Nationals trying to get 2 hits in the same inning for the first time tonight. So Desmond trying to get this thing started. They've had single hits in the 3rd, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Swing and a foul tip and the strikeout. 13th Washington K of the night.
You can follow every Nationals game with MLB.com app on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replays, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day and more. Download on the App Store. Visit Nationals.com today.
There's Bryce Harper. And Harper, career 1 for 5 against Papelbon with the base on balls. Harper got a fastball right down the middle at 91.
And probably sitting on something else, because that was center cut right down the heart of home plate.
And a ball hit hard but hooked foul. Bryce tonight 0 for 3. Pair of strikeouts and a fly ball against A.J. Burnett. And the fastball sails up, ball 2. 2 down.
Maybe just enough split in the back of Bryce's head to get that 92 by him. Usually Papelbon goes to the off speed with 2 strikes. Through the fastball on the outer half for strike 3. It's up to Wilson Ramos to keep this thing alive.
Ramos' career against Papelbon 0 for 3. And the Phillies trying to win the 6th game, their 6th game of the season series, and that's right now up 8-5. This ballpark 3-3. And Ramos can't get it upstairs at 91. Fastball, well hit, right center. This ball heading for the scoreboard and over it. It's a 3-2 game.
Don't you go anywhere. What are you thinking?
Wilson Ramos, 7th of the year.
Boy, how
A nervous ballpark watches him round the bases.
How easy was that swing by the Buffalo? Just touched it. Just barreled the baseball, going the other way. Makes this a 1-run game. How big is that Carlos Ruiz home run look right now? It's a fastball right down the middle. Ramos with a very easy swing. Look at that, effortless. Drives it out to right center.
And this is Asdrubal Cabrera hitting for Danny Espinosa. Matt Williams right now feeling like he needs contact. And a guy who can hit it out of the park himself. Cabrera, first pinch hitting appearance for the Nationals. He's faced Papelbon before, 0 for 2 career. Nate Schierholtz on deck.
Good swing, now you're loose.
And Cabrera rips a base hit to right field. And that'll bring in Nate Schierholtz in the number 9 spot. He was here in 2012, hit .273 for the Phillies in 37 games after being traded for Hunter Pence from San Francisco.
Is this any good?
I'll tell you in a minute.
Well, hey, this is what they do, man. They don't die. They're cockroaches. You can't kill them.
Schierholtz, first pinch hitting appearance for the Nats the other day, looking for his first base hit. One for 4 career against Papelbon. And that fastball misses. Four career pinch hit home runs. 23 runs batted in. And this ball scorched, but Jimmy Rollins is playing up the middle, and the game is over.
A good swing, hit it hard. Rollins just in the right place. I ran out of magic tonight, but it wasn't for lack of effort. And I know everybody at home thought they were going to find a way to pull it out again, but that's the way it goes. A couple of leadoff doubles stranded the difference in this game.
Nationals strand 7 base runners, dropped the opener of this series to the Phillies. A.J. Burnett was very good tonight, and their bullpen able to close it out.